Hey everyone, Face here. It's been a while since I've been able to sit down in front of the camera like this. Um, just been really busy with pretty much everything. As I said in my last video, work primarily has been really kicking my ass for about the last 3 months. This last 2 weeks I probably put in about 110 to 120 hours, which hasn't really left me with a lot of time for much of anything. Fortunately, I do still have my weekends, which has left me enough time to indulge my new hobby, which, if you watched my last video, as you're probably aware, is paintball. I've been playing for about the last 4 months or so. Kind of went a little bit nutty on it. Okay, I went really nutty on it. At present, I have 4 paintball guns. This is my first. This is a Tippmann Alpha Black. It's modeled after an M16, has the removable magazine, which doubles as tool storage. Very, very heavily customized. I've replaced the barrel, replaced the shoulder stock, foregrip, feed system, added the red dot sight on the top. I'm planning to replace all the internals as well as upgrade the entire gun so that it can be fed with spring-loaded magazines as well as the hopper system. Right now, just this little hopper is a 50 round, it's called a tack cap, intended to reduce your profile. Make you a little bit less likely to be seen, but at the expense of having less ammo. This is a Tippmann X7 Phenom, pretty much their top of the line. I don't use it a lot, it's kind of heavy. It's a nice gun, it shoots great, and I have modified it as well. I've replaced the barrel with a 14-inch high-performance barrel. I added the foregrip, M16 style carry handle, sling mounts, and 6-position retractable stock. Like I said, I don't use it a lot, it's a little heavy, and it doesn't really do anything any better than my Alpha Black does. But I do like it. It's a very high-performance gun, very accurate. But once I get my Alpha Black fully modified, I don't know if I'm going to actually hang on to that. So, next up, this is my backup weapon. This is a Tippmann TPX pistol with an extended barrel. This is actually the original barrel out of my X7, which I kind of like because it kind of gives it the impression of being like a suppressor. I also added a laser sight, which in paintball is pretty useless, but it does kind of add to the intimidation factor. And finally, we have my pride and joy. This is an Ego 2008 model by Planet Eclipse. This is a dedicated speedball gun. If you watched my last video, you kind of might have seen the captions that described in vague detail just what speedball is. What you might be more familiar with is woods ball, which is what my other guns are more configured for. But this, having the double trigger, electronic circuit board, and solenoid system, allowing for incredibly high rates of speed. Basically, as quick as you can twitch your fingers, and I'm not even very fast at it, is as fast as this thing can shoot. I've got an Empire Prophecy loader system on it, 280 round capacity, a large carbon fiber 4500 psi air tank. I've replaced the grips. I plan to do some upgrades to the internals. I actually bought this gun used, and it was very high performing to begin with, but I'm still making a few tweaks to it to kind of make it fit me a little bit better. But this is my primary gun. I like it a lot. Shoots really, really fast. And it's really, really fun and very light. In this configuration with everything attached, including the air tank when full, is still lighter than either of my other 2 woods ball type guns when fully loaded down. But enough of that. You don't come here to watch me talk about paintball. No, you come here to watch me talk about models. And, well, I do finally have something to talk about. Anyone who knows me and has watched my channel in the past knows that I love the Transformers. I grew up with the Transformers. I was a fan of the show when I was a kid. I still enjoy the movies, as flawed as they are. Only seen the new one once. Might go see it again this week if I can find the time. But regardless, I still enjoy the show. I enjoy the animated series, all the various forms of the animated series, the toys, the movies, etc., etc. And imagine my joy when I discovered that Takara Tomy, the company that produces Transformers for retail sale in Japan, was releasing a line of model kits based on the movie designs. And the first two up, naturally, are Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. I don't have Prime yet. He's in the mail, but I don't have him in hand yet. I do, however, have Bumblebee. I haven't really opened him up yet, so I don't really know a lot about it, but the box art is really, really cool. It's a photoshopped graphic of the model kit itself, and on the right side you can see if I can get some better light. Might be able to see that a little better. There you go. The inner frame, unlike Bandai's Master Grade kit series, is actually primarily pre-assembled, which is kind of interesting. I'm not sure why they went that route, but it might have just been for simplicity's sake. Regardless, it's kind of neat. I've had a look at a couple of photo review build-ups, none that are very detailed, but it looks very, very impressive, and the Optimus Prime figure is even more so. The rest of the box, you've got some photos of the assembled model showing off posability and detail, and on the bottom side is some Japanese legal text, as well as a couple more photos of the model itself. Instruction manual, I've glanced through it, is similar to Bandai's, more for their high-grade kits. Instead of being the book type, it's a big fold-out. I'm probably going to take some scans of this and post them on my blog and onto escalemodels.com. In addition, speaking of my blog, I intend to post some photos of my paintball guns with some more details on my blog if you're interested. So there will be a link down there somewhere that you can check out. Manual starts with the head, which looks surprisingly complicated. It's built up on a frame with poly caps, similar from the looks of it to a master grade kit. It's hard to say without seeing the parts in front of me, but from the line art here in the instructions, looks very, very well designed. In fact, a really nice touch is that all the parts that are being added for whatever step appear to be shaded. So it's very easy to tell what stuff is new, what stuff is not. Having this little, the color coding, the shading, makes that much, much easier. I'm not sure if Bandai does that, but if they don't, then they should. Progressing along, after you do the head, you start attaching all the parts to the torso frame. Looks like lots of little greebly bits. This looks like it would be a really great kit for like customizers to cannibalize parts from. It looks like it actually, moving over to the next page, it looks like it actually has rubber tires. Where right there. Two of which fit in the feet, and I believe two more are mounted to his back when completed. Posability, I imagine, is probably going to be very, very good. There are lots of ball joints and lots of looks like lots of wide knee joints and elbows and whatnot. Hands next up. After finishing with the legs, you move on to the hands. Doesn't appear to be really any posability to them. It looks like there's just two sets, one set of open hands, one set of closed fists. But there is also his plasma cannon. You can pull off one hand and replace it with his plasma cannon. And then there's more greebly bits, more add-on parts. Now, here's what I appreciate them for doing is up here on the top, you can see that's the parts describing the assembly of his battle mask. That's one thing that's really bugged me about a lot of Bumblebee action figures, is when they try to implement the battle mask, they make sacrifices for one version or for the other, and neither way really looks good. Because you can't swap out parts on an action figure the same way as you can on a model kit. So with the model, they actually swap out the parts. The top piece of the helmet comes off and is replaced with the front piece for the face mask. So there doesn't appear to be any sacrifices made for detail or accuracy in this case. So I really appreciate that. That looks outstanding. Moving along, more Greedly bits. If you've ever seen the movies or know anything about the design, you know how busy the mechanical designs are in these movies. There's just parts on top of parts on top of parts. Just look at this. Actually, that's not even all of it. That's almost entirely just greebles being added to the frame. It's incredible. If their Optimus figure is half this well detailed, I will be very, very happy when he comes in the mail, which I'm hoping is going to be tomorrow. Anyway, enough about that. Let's actually take a look at what comes in the box. There appear to be, hard to say, quite a few runners. Each one is individually bagged. So that's 1 runner, 2 runner, 3 runner, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12, plus one that's actually taped to the bubble and the frame itself. So what did I say that was, 12? That's quite a lot of parts. So I've gone ahead and pulled the frame out of the packaging. It's actually kind of small. The kit is advertised as being 35th scale. I believe Optimus is as well, so it's understandable that Prime would be quite a bit taller than Bumblebee, but I'm actually really surprised as to just how small this is. I'm sure once it's fully assembled, it'll be quite a lot bigger, because it'll have like another inch or so for the feet, plus another inch or so for the head, but I don't think it's going to be much taller than one of the action figures. Whereas the Optimus Prime, I believe, is close to a foot in height. This one looks like it's probably going to be closer to about 6 inches. But very nicely posable, lots of range of motion in the arms, double jointed elbows, multiple joints in the shoulders, lots of joints across the torso, lots of joints that like to pop off on the hip, and really a single joint, but a very, very widely articulated single joint in the knee. Next up, we'll take a quick look at the runners. This appears to be parts for the hands, possibly some leg parts. I believe these are for the feet, and these are mostly the hands over here. Here up now we have, these look like the doors, outside armor parts and inside parts, his face mask, the top of his head when his mask is retracted. Can't really identify anything else. Lots of just odds and ends and add-on parts. Here up now we've got some more mechanical parts. I believe this is part of his chest. I think this might be part of his head. These might be the two halves of his head. So many little odds and ends, it's hard to identify what anything could possibly be. It's such an odd robot design. Compared to what I'm used to with, like the shards of armor all over the place and exposed mechanical frame everywhere. It's very, very different from a Gundam. Next up here, these appear to be, I think that might be part of his back. That looks like maybe part of his torso. Actually, yeah, that'd be his lower torso, because you can see there's the license plate, which reads 900STRA. I can't tell if that's supposed to be maybe a California license plate or not. There's the two main halves of his plasma cannon. These look like some rims for his wheels. Other bits and pieces. Oh, and his face. I don't know if you can quite make that out. Looks pretty good. more odds and ends I couldn't even begin to identify without actually getting started on the assembly. Lots of mechanical bits. This is going to start to come off really repetitive pretty soon, I know. Again, more mechanical bits. These look like some gears and chains. More mechanical parts, more head parts. Another part of his helmet from the looks of it. I think these are part of his thighs, kneecaps, other odds and ends. A couple of Autobot symbols on these two parts. Don't know if you can quite make them out, but very nicely printed. Polycap set. Looks like about 15 or so different polycaps. Similar to Bandai stuff from the looks of it. Clear parts. Windows for his doors. Not really sure what these are. That looks like the lens for his plasma cannon and his eyes, which are painted over in clear blue, which is a nice touch. More mechanical parts, I believe. Got some stuff for his legs. This looks like it's more made of a more sturdy ABS type plastic, so that would make sense for them to be molded in that if they're leg parts, because you know they'd have to be sturdy. Other than that, looks like we got some. That looks like maybe they might have originally been brake rims and calipers, part of the. I guess these are part of the feet because I think his back wheels end up in his feet. Again, more stuff I can't really identify. I believe these might be armor panels that fit on his hips. The rest of them, I don't really know. Maybe his shoulders. And last but not least is the one that's actually taped to the bubble insert, which I will just quickly slice out, which has his chest plate, which I believe was actually redesigned for the third movie to be a little more angular and kind of be a little bulkier and tougher. I think those are his maybe shoulder parts, or they might be his forearm guards. Not really sure. The rest of it, can't really say. But I'll get started on assembly. Hopefully it won't take too long. I haven't really heard of any comments from builders of how long Bumblebee is taking, but some non-modelers, I understand, on the Prime figure have been taking up to 5 and 6 hours. So that should be interesting. So I'm going to get started on it right away. I thought I heard from somebody that that the figures included water slide decals to replace the markings if you decided to repaint it, but I haven't seen any, so that's kind of a bummer to me. But they may have been included and I just didn't see them. I did actually hear that in reference specifically to Optimus Prime, so he may include them while Bumblebee doesn't, because Bumblebee has much more simplistic markings, usually just you know, black stripes, which could be fairly easily masked if you're you know, moderately skilled. But hey, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna like I said, I'm gonna get started on him, and hopefully he won't take me hours and hours and hours. But you know, I'm fairly well experienced, so it shouldn't take me more than, well, I don't want to even guess how long it's going to take me, but we'll see how long it takes me. So yeah, I'll hopefully have another video up in 2 or 3 days to show off the completed assembly, and hopefully have a build or a box open review for Optimus Prime as well. So do stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching, and happy modeling.